Checks in with our loyal viewers with the broadcast from Boston, the home of the Celtics. Looking at Boston, they took a win in their last game against the Hawks in Atlanta. And that was a serious blowout. Not too many people can claim that they saw that coming.
And you know what? Exactly what had to be done in terms of winning on the road. Never allowed any momentum to build up against them. Kept the crowd out of the game. And for every punch they took, they had a counter.
I was very impressed, Greg, with the way they stood their ground, even when they were on their heels some, coming through those moments where they were backing up a bit. That's what it takes on the road. You've got to show that kind of fortitude and resilience.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. So on the floor for Philadelphia, Robert Covington out there with Nerlens Noel. Then there's Okafor. Then there's Isaiah Cannon. And it's Iverson in at the 2.
Well, so far for Coach Brad Stevens, the Celtics have had nothing but praise for their outstanding young coach. No surprise for those of us who know Brad. The team is really moving ahead in the rebuilding process, and he gets a lot of the credit for that.
And so it's the 76ers getting on the board first. Bradley dishes to Sullinger. From 13 feet, it goes down.
I like the way they're working the ball inside, because when you do that, you get higher percentage shots, and typically good things happen.
And part of the reason why the Celtics are ahead of schedule in their rebuild is because of Coach Brad Stevens. He has everyone on the same page.
You know what? You talk around the league about Coach Stevens, and other coaches are just astounded by his work ethic. People around the league think he's already a top coach. He could be one of the greats by the time he's done if he stays at the professional level.
And here's Boston. Thomas with the ball. Iverson picks him up. Thomas passes to Sullinger. And Turner kicks to Sullinger. Kicks it out to Bradley. Hits the front of the rim and out.
Well, I think the defense got lucky right there. I mean, he's going to make a lot more of those than he misses when he's got that much room.
A lot of times in the first quarter, it will dictate how big a role a player has later on.
Now here's Iverson. They've been leaning on him for a decent chunk of their offense. He's averaging over 15 points a game.
And that's just carelessness there. I mean, you have got to have your head in the game.
Now about 2 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Celtics have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Thomas with the ball. 9 points last game. Lee sets a screen for Bradley. Nice work there coming off the screen. Bradley's got his first bucket in this one.
And he came off that screen, and the knee just didn't get over the top of him.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Here's Covington. He's averaging a bit over 5 points a game. And up the court come the Celtics on the break. Outside Thomas. Lee against Noel. Lee dishes to Bradley. 5 on the clock. No good from Lee.
The bucket just not well protected, but still he doesn't convert too often. That's been the story with him.
Back to Iverson. Shot to stop the drought. The rebound by the Celtics. Their last meeting was in this building where they were able to come out on top.
And it says a lot about you that even when you're not at your best, they definitely were still in that game and able to win comfortably.
Greg, they were better than the box score might indicate because they were solid in execution, more so than the stats would show.
They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Sure could, Kev. I mean, too many empty trips. They need some points.
And they're 1 of 5 to start this game. Just really haven't gotten into a flow offensively.
Now here's Turner. The shot by Sullinger, wide open. Off target from three-point range.
And really a fantastic season for Sullinger last year. Really made some leaps forward, but missed a lot of time still due to injury.
Sullinger did continue to improve last year, Clark, but you can't ignore that he had to miss time once again.
Yeah, and you hope that he'll be able to stay healthy for a full year at some point. When he's on the floor, he's a hard matchup for just about every team in the league.
Well, with Nerlens Noel coming out, we knew he'd be a plus shot blocker. He set the Kentucky single game record with 12 in a game shot blocks. He also knew he had the chance to be a great rebounder, but we definitely knew He needed help with his shot, and that will continue on into next year.
Yeah, you know, he spent the year rehabbing that knee, but also spent that year correcting his shooting form. And we're not talking about just a tweak when it comes to shooting the basketball.
And Turner kicks to Thomas. Screen by Lee. Lee, a screen on Iverson. Thomas passes to Lee. Bradley, no one around him. They grab their own miss. Outside Thomas. Sullinger, a screen on Iverson. Iverson against Thomas. Sullinger, the screen. And stolen by Noel. Here's Iverson. Finished off the break.
Just a great job of attacking on the break.
Yeah, you know, exploding to the basket like that, Greg, just as soon as that ball was going the other way, that's exactly how you want to do it.
So the Celtics called timeout, their first.
And, you know, going back to Nerlens Noel's shooting, the improvements to his form look really good. Even better is that he hit 60% from the line as a rookie. That may not sound like a great start, but at this stage of his development, that's great progress.
Here's what Philadelphia's going with right now. Carlos Boozer's checked in for Noel. Nick Stauskas comes in for Robert Covington. And Kendall Marshall subbed in for Isaiah Cannon. Here's your Rebco. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game. Shot clock at 6. The Celtics need to get a shot off. Here's Zeller. And that one goes long.
You know, one caution I have about Noel's improved shooting, you don't want him to fall in love with jumpers. He did shoot only 46% from the field last year. Conversely, DeAndre Jordan shot 71% because he dunked everything and kept his head under the rim. It's a fine line between improving your game and playing within your limitation.
Outside Thomas. Picked by Zeller. Thomas dishes to Zeller and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. Well, last year, Tyler Zeller both started and came off the bench, showed he could be an effective player even when playing heavy minutes.
Yeah, and if you look at the games that he played as a starter, he increased his usage, and it didn't bother his production at all.
And for Zeller last season, his numbers were the same or better as a starter. His scoring picked up a touch. Still had a great field goal percentage too, so really solid production in his first couple of years.
Now here's Marshall. Pass to Boozer. Tries from the block. Grant outside. For 3, Marshall. The shot no good, and it's Boston the other way.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the boards.
And even this early, that's a good omen for the rest of the game.
Here's Thomas. And they get some nice contributions from him on a nightly basis as he averages over 11 points a game.
And I think the big thing for Zeller was that he found his role in the league. He knows he'll be an energy guy who has to make the most of his touches. And to his credit, he is nothing but a positive force on the floor.
For Boston, they have had 2 chances at the line already, making them both.
Well, clearly the 76ers were the youngest team in the league last season, and with all the draft picks they've stockpiled, they'll be the youngest team for a while, it seems. But if the youth can grow and develop, they could also be a force in a few years, too.
Now, here's Marshall. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. Boozer, and he dunks it down.
Now that's the way it's done. Take it up high and throw it down with everything you got.
That's right. Clark, he was not going to take the soft approach on that drive.
I would certainly hope not. I mean, you get that kind of opportunity with little resistance from the defense, you got to take it.
A nice shot by Zeller. Zeller's got 6.
They have got to put a body on it, because otherwise, with his agility and athleticism, they're not going to be able to contain him on the offensive glass.
Pass to Stauskas. He kicks to Marshall. Inside, it's deflected and stolen by Zeller. Now here's Thomas. Tight defense on him. Pick by Zeller. Thomas kicks to Smart. Outside for Thomas. Fires for three. And another shot. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And a brief moment now to see who's atop the NBA in team free throws. The Celtics second.
You know, it's really a team-wide talent. You want to foul to stop layups, but against them, you're not saving much. They'll make you pay time and again.
To give you an idea of how young this 76er team is, at one point last season, Greg, Tim Duncan had more seasons played in the NBA than the entire active roster of the 76ers.
That's hard to fathom. I mean, we all know there's this youth movement going on in Philadelphia, but they still need some veterans in that locker room. Very hard for the young players to lead.
Now here's Thomas. Carlos Boozer unable to get his shot to go. There's the pick. Thomas against Thompson. Olynyk sets a screen for Thomas. And Jerebko has it in the corner. That's in there. Thomas with the assist. And the Celtics lead by 10.
You could not diagram a better way to open a quarter.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look at the lead they've jumped out to already. What a start.
And so here is Philadelphia. They're coming off that win against Minnesota.
And Kevin, you know, they showed how important it is to have a strong bench. I mean, when you are on the road, that depth is vital. I think they really utilized the second unit to extend their offensive assault and just really wore down their opponent.
And guys, I think what you saw from them throughout the game was teamwork. This is a team. Regardless of who was out there on the floor at any given time, they got it done. And that has to make you feel good as a group. Grown man's power flush with the long hang on the rim at the end of it.
Clark, that could be a catalyst for him.
I think you're right.
And we've seen those kinds of plays get them fired up in the past.
Here's Thomas. After the Sixers pick up 2, there's a good screen. And Jerebko has it in the corner. It's hauled in by the 76ers.
They've been sensational on the backboard to start this game.
Yeah, sensational is a really good word for it, Greg. They're tearing it up on the glass. There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
Now Thomas. 26 seconds left to play here in the first. Olynyk can't hit.
I tell you what, folks, I bet he won't miss that shot next time he takes it.
He's guarded by Thomas. Out to the right wing. Stauskas inside the line. And the 76ers tack on 2 more. There's 10 seconds left to play in the first. Outside Thomas. From deep. No good on the buzzer beater. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. Celtics lead by 3. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment.